This episode is sponsored by PAX, the gold standard in emergency response bags. So when you're working under pressure, you need kit to be both dependable, tough and intuitive, and that's exactly what you get with PAX. Every bag is handcrafted by expert tailors who understand the demands of personal care, from the high-tech, skin-friendly and environmentally responsible materials to the cutting-edge welding process that reduces seams and makes cleaning easier. PAX absolutely puts performance first. They've partnered with 3M to make perfect reflective surfaces for better visibility, and bright grey interior makes finding kit effortless and fast even in low light. With over 200 designs, PAX bags are made to suit your role, your needs and your environment. And thanks to their modular system, many bags work seamlessly together no matter the setup. PAX doesn't chase trends, their designs stay consistent, so once you know one, you know them all. And if your bag ever takes a beating, their in-house repair team will bring it back to life. PAX are built to perform, made to last. Learn more at pax.bags.com or head to the show notes for further details.
You're listening to the Pre-Hospital Care podcast on the Medics Academy Network.
Welcome back to the podcast. This is part 2 in the AI blog written by my colleague and friend and co-host Sarah Spelsberg for the World Extreme Medicine podcast. And Sarah has written an amazing number of blogs really in written format, 2 of which we've elected to transpose really into AI interviews. Today's is titled The Pitt, a Lifeline for Emergency Medicine Providers. So just to give some context, I'm with Sarah before you're going to hear the AI blog in audio format. I'm just going to get Sarah to speak to really just a bit of background around the blog and why she wrote it. I believe The Pitt is Hollywoodization of emergency medicine and really maybe puts down into movie formats things which were really marinating in Sarah's thoughts. Sarah, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you again.
It's great to have you with us, actually. Sarah, just if I could just get you to speak to the background before we hear the blog in AI format. Could you maybe just speak to a bit of the background?
Absolutely. So the Pitt came out and people were raving about it and I watched it and it was really impressive how well they executed the show and how accurate it is. I mean, it's like from the minute he walks through the lobby and it's full, I have that walk because the lobby is a shortcut for me. And sometimes I walk through it and I think, oh no, like what is going on that we have this crowd in here. And then the only thing I ever saw them do wrong was he had his stethoscope on backwards once. And it's like, we'll allow it. It's okay. And then months later, I started noticing, I'm like, patients are being nicer. Like they're being more understanding. They're when you apologize for the wait time, as I always do, because it seems like we always have one, they've been more like, I understand, I watch the Pit. And it's like, this is and I do believe that Hollywood and film and art has the capacity to make culture evolve, and it does it holds that capacity in its nature. But it was remarkable how different it was making things for us. And then I noticed that our quarterly patient satisfaction scores went up. And then I started asking my colleagues, and a lot of my colleagues, their satisfaction scores are going up. And I see patients I feel like I'm experiencing less hostility. It's still there. You still have the person who goes crazy and has expectations that we just can't meet. But it's changing, and it's changing how people treat us, and it's changing even how our leadership views themselves. And I feel like I just needed to say thank you.
Which is powerful. And actually, like you said, it's really it's sometimes the mirroring effect. Just reflect to a wider community some of the stresses and strains and aggression that providers have to, in hospital and pre-hospital, have to deal with. Could I get you to speak to, just before we hear the blog, could I get you to speak to sort of some disconnection strategies that you advocate, such as rural rotations, such as wilderness training, expedition medicine training, just to, I guess in a way, we build a sense of purpose?
Absolutely. And you feel like you can win in those environments sometimes, whereas and I do think it's getting better. And that's part of the reason I wrote the blog, is just to say thank you to the Pit, because I really do feel like they've made things better. And as opposed to other TV shows that sort of set this unrealistic expectation, and they expect a team of 10 of us to go to their house and break in and discover some rare mold that's making them feel tired. Like it's just not how it works. And I wish it was, but it's not. And so I really appreciate the reality. But sometimes the how bureaucratic and administratively overburdened we are. And then it seems like it just nobody cares about the boarding crisis. And honestly, if you cure the boarding crisis, I go to work with a skip in my step and a smile on my face. I love taking care of people. I'm happy. It's just when I feel like I can't. It's when I feel like I'm just trying to overfunction. I'm seeing patients in hall chairs, and the system is like fighting against me when I'm trying to take care of people. I'm trying to get them where they need to go. They need to be admitted for surgery. They need to be admitted for observation. They need to see a neurologist. I have to transfer them. And it's like you spend hours on the phone. And it's like if I wanted to do, spend hours in front of a computer and on the phone, I would have like gone into finance or something like that. Like I just want to take care of people. And so for me, I almost have to, if I don't have a, a reset booked, I panic. Like, so I always have to know, okay, in 2 months, I'll be in the White Mountains teaching expedition medicine. And then in 2 months after that, I'll get to go to the World Extreme Medicine Conference. And then 3 months after that, I'm teaching polar medicine. And then I get to come to Fiji. And so even if it's just, if you're taking a course, if you're teaching a course, if you're doing a humanitarian mission, whatever it is, like get out, get off that treadmill and and just do what you were born to do, which is take care of people. And then you can go back and you're reset, and you can sort of tackle it with renewed energy. And actually there's another research project that when I get time, like who has the time, I want to look at like productivity metrics and value metrics of providers before and after humanitarian missions, because I think that we're all more productive. And I think that affects the hospital bottom line. So I've written another piece that I believe that hospitals should fund a week of paid volunteer time off for people to go do humanitarian work. Because not just because they should, because it's nice and it makes us all feel good, but because it actually will affect your bottom line. If I come back and I'm better, I'm rested, I have a renewed sense of purpose, I'm going to do more work. I'm going to do better work because I want to.
Listen, absolutely. And I totally agree with that. I think that's been my reality for a long time as well. Just having resets and having periods of, in a way, just reframing, getting away and being able to reframe, re-energize and come back almost a different person, really. I totally agree with that. So listen, you just about to hear the audio blog. We are going to link it in show notes, so you can listen to Sarah's wider body of blogs. I think there's a fantastic array of work there. But also, we'd love to hear your feedback. So please do give us your feedback on the blog, and yeah, please do enjoy. Sarah, thank you for your time today. It's lovely just to catch up with you. Also frame the blogs and touch base with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Owen. It's good to see your face.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Who would have thought, really, that a TV show could have this kind of cultural impact, like actually shifting how we see a whole profession?
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
Right. So today we're doing a deep dive into, well, the surprising influence of this one specific show, The Pit, and how it really affected, the high-stakes world of emergency medicine.
Yeah, a really tumultuous environment.
Totally. And our source material for this dive, it's really compelling. It's excerpts from The Pit, a lifeline for emergency medicine, and it's written by an actual emergency medicine physician, someone who's lived it.
Day in, day out. And our mission, really, for you listening, is to get a sense of how this show gave this clear, unfiltered look into a profession that's, well, often really misunderstood. It's definitely more than just entertainment. For the providers, the source is clear. It became this lifeline, a beacon of change even.
You know, reading this part, I was genuinely surprised by how much the older medical dramas apparently warped things before the Pit.
Oh, definitely.
Like, think about House. It created this idea of, these genius doctors figuring out bizarre illnesses in like an hour.
Right, after breaking into your house to find some rare mold or something.
Exactly. And then Grey's Anatomy, which the source says romanticized all the hospital drama. The broom closet rendezvous.
Yeah, the source is pretty blunt about that.
I mean, can you even picture that? Trying to find a broom closet in a real ED when you're like mid-trauma code.
Or just trying to chart everything.
Right. Neck deep in critical care, and yes, the endless charting, it just feels impossible. The physician's point there feels so spot on.
It absolutely is. And the core issue, as the physician explains it, is that these portrayals, they really shaped deep misconceptions about what actually happens in an ED in a hospital.
Made it harder for patients.
Exactly. Made it really tough for patients to grasp the stark reality of medical practice. And it set up these expectations that were just impossible to meet. It really changed the whole dynamic, led to friction, changed how patients actually treated the real doctors and nurses.
So given all that, you're probably wondering, okay, how does a TV show fix that?
Yeah, it seems unlikely, doesn't it?
But this is where the Pit comes in. It offered something completely different. What really jumped out at me from the source was how they describe it. Not just a show, but a well-researched window into their world.
Into the chaos, the grit.
Yeah, the chaos, the grit, the resilience. It sounds like it finally gave them a feeling of, like, recognition.
Precisely. And what's really fascinating here, reading the source, is how they put it. The Pit has made us feel seen for the first time and given us a voice.
Wow.
It's shone a light on just the relentless challenges they face every single day. Challenges often made worse by these systemic barriers that nobody really saw before.
And those systemic flaws, that's a huge piece of this, right? What the Pit brought out, making these EM docs feel like, okay, someone finally gets it. Our source talks about how leadership might blame delays on, quote, a supposed lack of staff resilience.
Which must be infuriating.
Right. But the physician says the truth is far more complex and nefarious. That's pretty strong language.
It really is. And they're clear. It's not about resilience. It's this maze, this labyrinth of challenges. You've got admitted patients just stuck boarding in the ED because there are no beds upstairs. You've got chronic short staffing. You've got specialists who, let's just say, take their time responding to consults.
Right.
The ED becomes, as the physician puts it so perfectly, the dump everyone worries about but constantly ignores.
Wow. That phrase, it says so much, captures that frustration.
It really does, about the systemic neglect.
And all these things, the source points out, put this incredible stress on the ED providers, described as tantamount to abuse.
Which is a shocking way to put it, but you can see why.
Yeah. It means the providers end up taking the blame for delays and problems that are just way outside their control, which has got to be frustrating for everyone, especially the patients just waiting and waiting.
Absolutely.
But here's the amazing part. The impact wasn't just, internal morale. This transparency, it actually directly improved things between patients and providers.
How so?
By reshaping patient expectations.
Yep.
The show apparently helped people get the real logistical challenges, the emotional toll. It dismantled those fantasy ideas from the other dramas.
Okay. So it grounded expectations.
Exactly. Patients started to understand, okay, these long waits, they're not because the staff doesn't care. It's overwhelming demand. It's staffing. It's these system bottlenecks.
Right. They get that the ED staff have, almost no control over these bigger system failures.
And just understanding that if you're the one waiting, that can change everything.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this transparency, it opened up conversations. It helped manage those patient expectations better. And the result, patient satisfaction scores started going up. Not because waits suddenly vanished.
It's not magic.
No, but because patients could finally see the humanity, the effort behind the decisions being made in the ED. It became about empathy, not just speed.
And that transparency had another, maybe even more critical impact, reducing violence against staff.
Which is a huge problem.
Huge. EDs are described as pressure cookers, stress, frustration. It boils over into aggression. Providers getting kicked, punched, spit on, groped, It's horrifying and way too common.
Unacceptable.
So what the Pitt did, it seems, was it humanized the providers like never before. Viewers saw the exhaustion, the dedication, the tough reality.
It's all the barriers.
Yeah. The bureaucracy, the inefficiencies, like, oh, the long wait isn't negligence, and then saw the contrast, right? Those awkward admin morale boosters, pizza and candy.
Oh, yeah.
When what they actually need is safe staffing.
Right.
And a hospital that can handle the boarding crisis, it just highlights the disconnect.
And that transparency, it fostered empathy.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Made confrontations, verbal or physical, less likely.
Because they see them as people.
Exactly. Not just faceless, neglectful staff, but actual people doing their absolute best in these crazy circumstances. That understanding, it changes the whole interaction.
Still, that weight, the pressure of the ED, it takes a toll. Our source talks about needing to step away sometimes, to recalibrate. And their way of doing it, venturing out to like the farthest corners of the planet, wilderness medicine assignments, where it's just about patients and solutions, none of the bureaucracy.
Wow. That's quite the escape.
Isn't it? And things that sound intense to us, like coordinating medevacs and jumbles or flying near volcanoes.
Yeah.
Those feel liberating compared to explaining another 14-hour wait because there are no beds upstairs and patients are stuck boarding in the ED.
That contrast is stark.
The author literally says they'd rather risk my life trying to save someone than feel like a failure because I cannot provide the care I feel my patients deserve, or get yelled at again for things they can't control.
That's incredibly powerful. It says so much about the dedication, but also the deep frustration.
Yeah.
And these wilderness trips, for the physician, they sound like a way to get back to the core of medicine, right?
Yeah.
To heal, to act, make a real difference. But what's key is they take the ED lessons with them. Even out there, the resilience, adaptability, that commitment to care, despite the barriers, it's always there.
And that brings us to the physician's really direct, passionate plea for actual change. They're talking to politicians, insurance companies, and hospital leadership.
Okay, what's the message?
Basically, we'd care for people in spite of the barriers you put up. Or let's stay up. Stop trading quality care and staff morale for pennies.
Wow. Strong stuff.
Though they do add a note acknowledging some hospital admins are supportive and try to help, but the main message is clear.
Yeah. No holding back. And it really highlights that critical point about apologies, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Why is precious time spent just saying sorry? The physician puts it so bluntly. In the time I spend apologizing, I could have seen and cared for you and another patient.
It's just tragic waste, isn't it?
Yeah.
Caused by system failures.
Totally. And they lay out these really clear calls to action. Things like end boarding in the ED.
Absolutely critical.
Demand safe staffing.
Essential.
Help us make them drop the barriers to care so providers can just do their jobs. You know, do what we were born to do, trained to do, called to do, take care of you at your most vulnerable.
It's a plea to let them practice medicine.
Exactly. It's basically let us do our jobs. So ultimately, the Pitt, it really was more than just TV. It was, like the source says, a lifeline.
Yeah, the big takeaway here is pretty remarkable, isn't it? The Pitt didn't just entertain people.
Yeah.
It genuinely moved the needle on public perception of emergency medicine. It proved a show could spark real empathy, advocate for change. It held up that mirror to the struggles, like we said, shifted patient expectations, maybe opened some eyes in leadership.
Fostered empathy.
Fostered empathy in ways, well, I think many, including the author, never thought possible. It's really a tribute to the resilience of EM providers, but also that clear call for system change.
And maybe that's the real deep dive here, that sometimes the clearest view of our systemic problems and maybe the push to fix them can come from, well, unexpected places, like a TV show, as the physician puts it so powerfully at the end. When everyone understands the problem, maybe then we can evolve.
Leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
It really does. What role can you, listening, play in helping that understanding and helping that evolution along? Something to definitely mull over.
You're listening to the Pre-Hospital Care podcast on the Medics Academy Network.
So there we have it, the second AI blog from Sarah. And it really goes to show, certainly in the second blog, how important it is to change the public perception around the pressures which are faced within emergency medicine and pre-hospital emergency medicine. And just that accurate portrayal really helps realign that that public perception, and actually changes, strangely enough, alters and changes reality. So it's extremely interesting, actually. And I do encourage you to go and see the show. The link is in the show notes, and just check it out, as it is quite different to previous medical shows that are predecessors to the Pitt. So we're going to continue this theme around turning blogs into audios. We're going to drop them every Thursday rather than the Mondays are going to be with traditional interviews with authors of books or indeed clinicians, frontline clinicians or otherwise. And then the Thursdays, we're going to look at a few of the fantastic blogs which we've turned into audio podcasts with the authors, and then you're going to hear the AI transcription on the back of that as well. Please do give us your feedback. We'd love to know if this resonates for you and indeed works for you. Please do check it out. We'll be dropping these every Thursday, and we'll be back with you on Monday morning with the traditional pre-hospital care podcast interview. This coming Monday is going to be Paul Butler, a 40-plus-year-old living with cystic fibrosis, who's really rewritten the script on what it means to live with cystic fibrosis. And we get his first-hand lived experience of CF and indeed how he's navigated it. He's over doubled his life expectancy. And it's fantastic just to hear that, because certainly as pre-hospital clinicians, it's really essential to hear the lived experience from patients. And he gives a really excellent first-hand description about how he manages his pathology and how he has, rewritten the script. So do check that out on Monday, and we'll catch you soon.
You're listening to the Pre-Hospital Care podcast on the Medics Academy Network.